Pete, can you tell us if Rupe Hintz is in tonight?
Game time decision.
How, with him out of the lineup, how does that affect Jason Robertson? Obviously, he hasn't scored in 10 games. He's getting his points, but he hasn't scored any goals.
Yeah.
Do you kind of need Hintz to maybe get Jason going a little bit?
You know what? I don't know. I mean, I know he hasn't scored in 10 games, but you know he's a point-a-game player in the NHL playoffs. Like it's still, you're still contributing. He doesn't, you know, he's going. He doesn't need to get going. You know, I think any coach in the league would take a point-a-game guy this time of year, especially with the trail of teams we've had to go through and how tough defensively Vegas was in Colorado. So, you know, he hasn't scored, but he doesn't need to get going. But Rupe helps everybody. He helps anybody he's playing with and any special team he's on.
Back right, Josh.
Yeah.
Pete, I'm just wondering what you like about how your team has defended McDavid and Draisaitl at 5-on-5. They obviously got their goals in game one, but what have you liked overall and through 7 periods?
Yeah. I mean, you know what? For me, I still think we can do a better job. So, you know, we can have more detail in our game. I thought, even though we held them off the score sheet in game 2, I didn't think we had as good a detail in our defensive game as we could have. They got too many looks for me. So, you know, it's still a work in progress.
Front left, Mike.
Hey, Pete. What did you learn in your time in the bubble here, and have you heard stories from, I mean, obviously it was really big to the Stars locker room. I don't know if you guys talk about it, that you're back here in this building,
Yeah.
if people have stories.
Well, a little PTSD walking in here every time. You know what? It was a great experience. It was an experience I would never sign up to do again, but it was a great experience. I mean, the city of Edmonton, the hotel, the rink, you know, everybody bent over backwards, but it was a social experiment. You know, we were essentially locked up for 60 days, and you know, we lost in the conference final. There was, you know, 2 teams that played longer than us, so yeah, it was. I wish, in hindsight, I would have taken notes. I think I could have written a pretty good book about the experience, because you know, hopefully that never happens again, and no one will have to experience that again. But it was interesting.
Stay in that front left row.
Chris Tanev, when he arrived, what did he do instantly, or did it take a little while for him to have an impact on this team?
Yeah. Well, instantly, you know, leadership, defending, warrior mentality, you know, that kind of bleeds through your dressing room, especially with your young guys when they see a guy like that. It took him a little time, system-wise, to play the way, to get adjusted to how we wanted to play compared to how Calgary was playing when he left there. But smart guy, didn't take him long.
Stay in that front row left.
Yeah, if I could just follow up. It seems like everybody talks about so many of your other defensemen. Nobody talks about Esa Lindell, but it seems to me is he not your chief shutdown guy right there with Chris?
Yeah, right there with Chris. I think I mentioned that, you know, maybe in a scrum after one of the press conferences, but you're right, no one's talking about him, and they should be. And, you know, this isn't the first time he's done it. He did it last year in the playoffs, too, for us on a deep run, and I think prior to me getting there. He's a horse, and he thrives this time of year, and he thrives in those situations, and he's hard to play against. Really under the radar, quiet, important piece for us.
Second row right, David.
Hey, David.
Hey, Peter. Best road record during the regular season, and you've continued in the playoffs 5-1. Any explanation why the team just seems maybe even just more calm playing on the road?
Yeah. I don't know. I've been asked that before. I'm not sure. I'm not sure why. I think our game translates well on the road. I think we've got a veteran team that isn't intimidated by, you know, visiting rinks or the atmosphere or the situation. I think there's a calmness to our leadership group, which kind of bleeds into the rest of the group. And I think there's a natural reaction for everybody at home to try and put on a little bit more of a show, offensively, and sometimes that works and sometimes that can backfire against you on the road. I don't think you have that pressure, or as much pressure to do that. It's just about winning.
We'll take two more. Second row on the left.
Hey, Pete, when a team has a penalty kill streak like this, how much attention do you put to that, and can getting one open up the floodgates?
Yeah. Well, yeah, they've got a great penalty kill, but, it's been great in the playoffs. It was middle of the pack during the regular season. We feel like if we execute at the level we're capable of executing, if Rupe's back in the lineup, that we're going to get our looks.
Last one, center right, Sean.
Hey, Sean.
Hey, Pete. Jake Ottinger's regular season numbers were down, but it sure looks like he's building and building and building to a crescendo that we're seeing from him right now. What have you seen from him in how he worked through that to where he is?
Well, Jake had a tough year. You go back, he played injured in the playoffs last year, had surgery immediately after the season ended, came back, didn't have a summer of training or anything, had a quick start, and then got re-injured again. And I think it's taken him a little time to kind of catch up, but we felt that he was starting to catch up down the stretch from everything that kind of happened in the last 12 months, and I think he's just back to healthy. I don't think it's anything different. I mean, this is he's proven himself to be an elite goalie in this league for a long time.